Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this may seem odd and or different from me, but I kind of, for a while, have been wanting to just play around with different kinds of videos to film. And to be honest, I realized that I really have not been checking out makeup as much. I've really been doing my series playing with old makeup, but I really want to get back into doing some long form content. And I also just want to get back into like what is new in the makeup industry, because literally I have not, unless it's brands that like I specifically follow, I'm just like completely out of the loop. So I do have pulled up on my computer, but the main two sites that I will be, not sites, but on Instagram, pulling from is of course Trendmood and then Makeup on Your Radar, Makeup on My Radar, I always forget. But let's go ahead. I'm just gonna like pick a couple of random ones, certain ones that I'm not fully sure about. I'm just gonna see if there's anything that grabs my fancy. First thing I see here is an eyeshadow palette from Urban Decay. I do tend to like eyeshadows more than complexion. It is pretty neutral. City Space Cowboy Star palette. For a second when I first saw this, I thought it was going to be all highlighters, so I'm intrigued that it is not. I don't see a price for it. It does look like it has Space Cowboy Reds, again, one of their super tried and true shades. I did hear recently that they also did release their original Naked palette, so I guess they're trying to come back. I am very curious. This is, I mean, it's something I would pick up, but it is pretty. I feel like I'm just seeing a lot of random. I might click off. Oh yeah, here's one thing I kind of want to check out. It looks interesting. It is expensive. It looks like it's a Guerlain. I'm sorry, not really into the bouge. Guerlain X Pucci Vibrant Fall Makeup Capsule. I'm not going to say that it is not pretty. I actually love the packaging. It's super beautiful. I'm assuming maybe this is something with the brand or whatever the aesthetic is of Pucci, because like I said, I have absolutely no familiarity. The quad is actually really pretty. I would love to see kind of a look. They do have the model and they don't, which again, this might be the person, have no clue. In all honesty, I do think this collection looks really beautiful. I would be very curious if they would have done an eyeshadow look with this quad, as it is striking because it does have purple, white, orange, or red, and a black. I don't know, I'd just be curious to see what they'd create, and then it is just a basic lipstick. I don't know, the case is really pretty, so definitely let me know if anybody is interested in this. It looks like they also have these pearl things, which I feel like they've had before. I've never really been like too much into the whole fancy. I feel like I tend to just go for things that really like grab me. This is kind of cute. Who's this by? Oh, Spectrum. They're doing, it's a Horizon Shine Mickey collection. Spectrum is a brand that I've always been very curious about. I know that they only do makeup brushes. As I've seen, they also do have some sponges. You can get the 8-piece brush set at $70. You can get a 6-piece sponge set for $28. I feel like other brands have done that in the past, and I don't really understand why they do that. There is a Mickey Breakfast makeup bag for $56 just for the bag. Wow, that's pretty expensive. And the whole thing is $115. I don't feel like these are full-size brushes. It is super cute. It's something I'm like super interested in. The makeup bag is probably the cutest. It's not really a makeup bag in my opinion. It looks really, really small. And for the price of $56, I'm assuming that's because it's Mickey. I don't really feel like it's worth it. I would be curious if another brand in the future would do something similar and just see price point wise what that is. I've never owned anything from Pat McGrath before. So we got some new eyeshadow quad retailing for $56. So I guess for her it's probably not horrible. Shade for definition to metallic shades for depth. Let's featuring a matte shade for definition, metallic shades for depth, and a luminizer for highlights. And like, I'm almost even seeing one of the ones that they show, it doesn't look like it has a matte. One of them does, like it has a brown, which like is kind of confusing to me when it says depth, because I've always used mattes for depth. It's saying the metallics are there for depth, I guess. I'd like to see these in action, to be completely honest. That is something I would definitely say that I don't think Pat McGrath does. I miss when, if anybody remembers, I think, was it Urban Decay or Too Faced? This is like 100 years ago, but if any of you are my age, I'm assuming you remember things like this, hopefully. They used to have these little boxes, and they kind of came with like eyeshadow ideas. I don't know if it's just me. I really think that's like a smart thing that I wish brands did, because I feel like a lot of times people are buying this makeup and they have absolutely no idea what to do with it. For example, one of the pictures, I really do wish that they had given you kind of like a vision of what they think that this should look like. And like I said, the second quad here, the one that's a bit more colorful, my brain is just like, what the heck would you create with that? I think it has some really interesting shades, but I would just be curious to see. And the swatches look super nice, but like, I feel like most brand swatches look really good, and at least in my opinion, when you put put them like on your actual face, it just doesn't translate. So I would love to really see some actual like images of some makeup just to give some ideas of like things you could create. I'm just gonna check just in case. I don't really see anything else. So let's go ahead and switch over to, I hope this is the correct one, Makeup on Your Radar. Makeup on Your Radar 2. I'm assuming this is the most current one. So let's see. So we will go ahead and talk about this one first. So it is by Bella Beauty Bar. Oh, it's the restock. This is a restock on their recently de-influenced palette. It is really pretty. It has some nice shades. I don't feel like it ever really grabbed me. I know the one that always kind of grabbed me before was that Basic Witch, even though I've never tried anything from them. It looks like the packaging is updated with magnetic, so that's really cool if you would like that. I feel like I always go back and forth on the idea of magnetic. I do like that it has little pop-out things, because I do have a couple magnetic palettes from brands that some of them I find them really hard to get the pan out, so that's kind of annoying. Ooh, these are pretty. So this is from Touch Beauty Glam. This is What Are the Odds? Part 2, launch date August 7th. Are these different shadows to anybody? Like, I feel like they are. They look really pretty. So it looks like they're inspired by the Galaxies limited edition shades and are one-of-a-kind shades. So that's quite interesting. So it looks like there's a bunch of different shades. I would like to see swatches. I'm not seeing anything so far that will show any swatches. I would be curious about those. Again, they do look really pretty, don't get me wrong, but like I do feel like they might just be something that's just really pretty. And I don't know about the whole like practicality of it. I feel like swatch, they might look pretty similar, which is unfortunate. So next up, and this is somebody, like a screen grab from their Instagram post, I guess the brand is doing. So this is a, oh, interestingly enough, this is a collection from DD Signature X Makeup on Your Radar. Did not know that they did a collection together, so that's pretty interesting. It's just some swatches of these shadows. I'm not really sure if this is like a palette or what. The swatches though look really pretty, so it does look like it might be makeup collection. Consists of 4 or 5 pan size mini looking eyeshadow palettes that are each $9.99 a piece. I don't know, it just looks really pretty, so I will go ahead and just post to show you. I'm not 100%. I do kind of wish that in this was shown like the palette itself. Okay, is this it? Okay, so this one here, showing 3 of the 4 palettes. I guess there's another one. These do look really pretty. I feel like I'm really liking the middle row, especially because there is that really deep shade. If you do not know, I absolutely love having a really deep shade like this look for me today, which I just realized I did not say. If you're curious of this look, this will be from my series Playing with Old Makeup. So I did play with an eyeshadow palette, so hopefully that will be up, should be up by the time that this video is up. So if you're curious, scroll back. I believe it should be number 34. That is probably the only one that I feel like I'm gravitating towards. A lot of times for me though, I'll be honest, when I look at palettes, I tend to notice that, not 100%, but I tend to like, in a way, how at times we see with like Blend Bunny palettes, where there is that like light, deep, middle tones kind of shade with like a shimmer. When I look at palettes like this, I'm kind of like, what would I create with this? I'm sure it is beautiful, and I'm sure it swatches beautifully, and it does look really stunning, especially I'm seeing it swatched out, the one that I'm talking about that I really like. I look at this and I think, what would I create? Especially the bottom one, that's probably my least like favorite, like a red, a blue. Again, I'm colorblind if you don't know, so I could be wrong. It looks like a red, a blue, a pink shimmer, a green, and then like a light green shimmer. The light green shimmer looks really pretty. I almost wish it was in the top one. That's like a blue, a dark blue, a lime green, like whatever, another kind of green. I feel like that would look pretty, especially if it were a bit brighter. This is from Cryptine Cosmetics. I'm definitely probably butchering that. So it's 6 mattes, 3 duochromes, 1 holochrome, 1 shimmer, 1 metallic shimmer. I would be curious to see what this will look like swatched out. This is $59, so it is definitely on that higher price tag. Looking at this, it's nothing that's really grabbing me a lot. Some of the shimmers look really pretty, especially this like greeny one in the bottom left-hand corner I think is really pretty. I wish that there were more depth with the matte. You know, I'm sure this is definitely a really pretty collection, but it's just definitely not for me and what I like. Let's go ahead and round it out with this one, because I have been eyeing this one because I do like the brand. So this is the collection that Gourmand Girls is doing in partnership with Ladybug Glow, or I guess they are doing it together. I'm not 100% sure. It does look like the product itself is available August 13th on Gourmand Girls site if you are curious. It is part of Ice Cream Beauty Box. I've never heard of this before. Like, I think I have a little bit, but like I don't fully know what it is, and maybe don't check it out. I was gonna click on it and check it out, but I'm like, you know what? It's probably just gonna be a beauty box. There's nothing wrong with that if you enjoy like checking out different beauty stuff, but I just don't want to be pulled into something that I'm really not probably gonna like. So yeah, both of these palettes, I'm trying to look at either one. I think the only one that if I was to pick one up might be El Camino. I know originally when I was looking at this, I was like, man, I don't really like either. Paradise Cove is really pretty, has a lot of bright shades. I just don't feel like I see myself wearing a lot of these shades. Something that I feel like is missing from both of these palettes, and I think, I forget who it was, which is kind of a bummer, but somebody who I was randomly watching, and just unfortunately somebody I don't even know, their video talking about these palettes, and they said this looks completely computer generated, which a part of me feels like maybe it is. I'm gonna go ahead and click on Gourmand Girls just to see. Yeah, they still have this exact same photo up. No swatches, no nothing as of yet. Again, they do look really pretty, but to get back to my thought, there's no bright shimmers, and at least for me, that is something that, like, I absolutely crave and or need. I really loved Gourmand Girls, to be honest. Like, I'll even show you one of their palettes that I have right here. This is, like, an older one from Halloween a couple years ago that I have been playing with. Oopsie, I don't want to break it. I love the shimmers in this. It's definitely still, like, I don't think I can play with, like, every single shade, but it is still fun for me to play with. So what really started my love affair with Gourmand Girls last year, and granted, I know that they're not, like, a Halloween brand, but it was this palette that they did, the Nightshade palette with Doodles by the Bunny, and this one shade is so bright. I still absolutely love this palette. It's just a palette that, I mean, I feel like will forever live in the realm of, like, a really good palette. They also did the Haunted one, which I really liked. And then as you see, I picked up that previous Spooky palette, or Spooked palette, whatever it's called. I miss that so far. Here's the Haunted, just if you're curious reference. I know a lot of people say this one's really similar to The Night, whatever. I think this is still a really solid, fun palette. I'm not 100% sure where they're going. I think they definitely want to try new things out. Maybe they felt that doing some palettes of Doodles by the Bunny, I don't know if they probably just want to, like, branch out and do something different. I know that it looks like their Nightshade is still, like, such a good one because it's, like, literally top of their page. So it looks like there is going to be, I heard somebody talking about another palette from Gourmand Girls. This is called Gourmandises. The one thing I am really curious about that they don't have written here is who is the one who created this artwork. That has always been something they've been pretty transparent about, which I do really appreciate. I'm just not seeing it here. So I really hope that they're not doing AI. Fingers crossed, but we're not going to fully know for sure. I'm not seeing anything that talks about whoever designed this, because I know usually before they would put Doodles by the Bunny as their designer, but I'm not seeing any of that. So this just looks like it says, what do you call it? I'm assuming it's going to be some, I don't know, pastels is what it looks like to me, even though it's something about some gourmand pastries and perfumes and late summer treats. Will be part of our triple palette launch. So I guess with the other two, there's going to be some lip oils and mascara and more. I am quite curious. It always worries me when companies or brands do, like, massive collections with just, like, blah, 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 all this stuff. It's kind of like, if this is meant to be this really good mascara, like, give it room to breathe. And again, I know zero about any of this stuff, but just as an outsider coming in and looking at this, I'm kind of just like, oh, you know, I don't know. I feel like their last palette that did look really pretty about that I never mentioned. I do apologize, I'm going on a Gourmand Girls tangent here. I did not pick this one up, but I did actually think it was stunning. They're not 100% shades that necessarily I would use per se, but it did look really nice, especially for summertime. I don't know, it's just something that I feel like I like it a lot more than I like the other one. So yeah, I don't fully know where this brand is going. I'm definitely, like, very curious about them, because like I said last year, they were definitely, like, a top, I think it was last year or the year before, a top brand for me as in terms of these eyeshadow palettes. So it doesn't fully seem like they're going on this route anymore. It's completely fine, whatever the brand wants to do. But I am just, yeah, I will be really curious to see what they create. But I think that is going to be the end of today's video. I know this is completely random. I do apologize. I am really going to try to nail this down. This is definitely something that I've always kind of wanted to do, of keeping myself involved in everything that's going on with makeup and talk about new releases and things like that and things that I am excited about. Really, none of this, I guess, is anything that I'm necessarily excited about, but things that I think are fun that I really wanted to talk about. So, you know, this is definitely experimental, so let me know down below your feedback if you would like to. I do think I will still continue to make videos like this. I might just shift stuff. This, again, is going to be a learning process for me, as I've never done anything like this. So if you think it's crappy, I do apologize. I will be working to get some better videos, as I am trying to get back into my long-form content. If you're here for my short-form content, have no fear. That will not be going away whatsoever. I just want to make sure that I'm kind of, as I'm trying to grow with YouTube, I want to make sure that I'm still kind of putting myself out there. On an aside, we'll just, I guess, throw this in at the end. I did recently hit my goal of hitting 500 subscribers. I am a little bit over now. I think like 520 last I checked, which is like so exciting. But in order to like have any sort of links or whatever that eventually would help me out more, I do need to have like 3,000 hours or whatever. So that is another push of why I want to kind of get back into this, just being honest, is that I think that doing YouTube, I think it's absolutely love it, but I do think that I would be lying if I did not want to have some level of success. I absolutely love it, but I think that it would be something, you know, that I would love to build. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a really, really long time. So that's just something, at least for myself, with in terms of improvement, things like that. I really want to make sure that I'm trying to get back into long-form content, at least as well, to help that to build. I also do feel like my views tend to be pretty higher on my, even though it's my shorts, when I have the combined video like all in one, that also tends to give me pretty good views. So I'm hoping that long form is where the road is taking me, but we shall see. But yeah, so enough of that ramble. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I really do appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, or just any fun makeup content like that from me. I hope you are having a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next one. Okay, bye.